So Goddard, who kicked the ball in a moment ago, now gets it to Schneider, and Schneider kicks the ball out on the forward. Tim?
We've got a real problem at the moment. Gardner looks injured. He hasn't reappeared on the ground yet. They've started with Cozzy. He changed with Blake. That last kick in from Goddard a couple of moments ago, they don't actually have a really tall target out there on the ground at the moment. Gardner's off the ground, so too is Kazitsky.
Collingwood waste it. Goes out of bounds, but they gain some territory. Boundary throw in, right half forward. There's Gardner. In front, Brown. Following up, Blake. Does well to the advantage of Del Santo. Along the boundary line, Revolt works in front. Well done by Brown. Took him out of the contest. That was Nathan. Gilbert applied a strong tackle on Maxwell. Kept going, Gilbert. Still going, Gilbert. Just across the boundary line. That was terrifically played.
Just highlighted the fact here, that's an absolutely textbook tackle. Pin the arm. He's got a rugby league background, Sam Gilbert. That's his role, obviously. Work hard, present up, but most importantly, when the ball hits the ground, stick the forward 50 tackles.
And so Blake having to do a lot of the ruck work with Cozzy, as Tim told us. Gee, if Gardner couldn't come back, if that's the case, that's when you roll the dice when you don't play the second ruckman, isn't it?
Yes, they wouldn't have expected. Yeah, that is exactly it. You play one specialist ruckman, he gets injured. Well, that's the end of the that category of player in your team.
So Blake works to the front. And then Brown puts the tackle on.
You get the feeling Blake will be able to compete pretty well with Lee Brown, but I think the ascendancy could go Collingwood's way in a massive way if Darren Jolly's taking the centre hit-ups and around the ground.
And the good story for the Saints, Collingwood hasn't kicked a goal in the second half in 13 minutes of footy. So they've been able to get a hold on them for the moment.
Jones is over the football for the Saints.
Yeah, you'd have to be thinking Kazitsky versus Jolly will be the ruck combination, and Blake will take the minutes against Brown.
And a few of the Saints who would orchestrate it that way, Lee.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's the bounce, 60 metres out, knocked down by Blake, charging into the pack, Wellingham. Umpire will do it again.
And what you'd have to be doing, as happened for the build up to the Rewald goal, when Kazitsky's on the ball, you have to try and get him into the forward line and, you know, be an extra goal kicker rather than just a ruckman floating behind play.
It's like a tug of war at the moment. Off hands, Reed slings it out, brilliantly done. Wellingham's away, runs to the wing, looks inside the forward 50, hugs the boundary line. McCaffer, well, did the hard stuff, got to the footy and slipped out of his grasp.
Just see Blake go off the ground when Lee Brown went off, and Kazitsky now with Darren Jolly. The one that Collingwood will need to be aware of in that situation when Blake's rucking is obviously the third man up, and Brendan Goddard looks like the most likely Saint to do that role.
Jolly just won the tap, and then ball held up by McWalter.
Brendan Goddard, keep your knees out of it.
Wow.
Free kick like ball, nah, not on.
Well, you heard
Not on.
Razor Ray,
No
Chamberlain,
goal.
so against Goddard now, backtracking O'Brien to Didak, and then Didak, a high one to about 30 metres. Baker caught underneath with Fisher, and Baker takes the mark.
And that's
Fisher
what they have to do with the extra man back. You have to mark it. In the second quarter, all they were doing was spoiling, and there's no rebound.
Fisher almost shielding for him there in a way, wasn't he? So Goddard, uncertain, and then goes long. Maxwell's in the box seat. He reads it so well, but Goddard didn't want to cough it up, but in the end he was forced. So Maxwell happy to go to O'Brien. Now Jolly working off Kazitsky here, and Swan running hard as well.
Nice kick. Jolly with the interchange gates. Not much up ahead. Jolly goes to Swan. Swan wheels around just outside the half-forward line. Ill-directed. Poor kick. Getting back McWalter. So McWalter across half-back. He's side down by 20 points halfway through the third term. Little chip pass to Gilbert. Trying to give some life to the forward line. Revolt should get this one, and he does. He's 60 metres out. Very open forward line. Collingwood have got a couple of extras. In fact, yes, two. For a moment it was three. Back inside that defensive 50. Revolt unloads then. Kazitsky is the target. Up in front, the mark is taken by Goddard. Goddard moments ago was in a back pocket. Certainly one of the stars of the competition. And together with Revolt realises they've got a huge responsibility. Goddard just ghosting across in front of the pack. Watch this reaction.
The real height in the contest was Kazitsky, though. He got forward as he has to, and that allowed Goddard just to float into the pack.
I didn't know what was coming. I think I'm a clairvoyant. There goes the kick. And he puts it through to Goddard. Terrific.
We do ask ourselves a little how St Kilda are still in the game. Basic number, Collingwood about 39 inside 50s to St Kilda's 22 for a very 14-point lead. They're hanging in there, and that's what they have to do. Again, looks like they've had a lot of scoring shots, Collingwood, but as Dennis pointed out a couple of times, a lot of them been rushed. 6 of them have been rushed.
Well, he took almost mark of the year, but that's as important a one as he's taken all year.
Great
The good
grab,
thing for the good thing for the you've always got to have hope in a grand final, and that scoreboard gives St Kilda hope, doesn't it?
Yep.
14 points after it was 24 at half-time. So Jolly wins it clearly, but the Hayes clearance puts the Saints forward.
A beauty! Yes, he has.
And you know who he is.
That's great, isn't it? Forward footy. Forward footy just means under pressure games, get the ball forward and give your players forward of the footy who have to be in front. That is just a magnificent contested mark, isn't it?
3 players involved. The Goddard goal before, Hayes to revolt. They're the 3 keys for St Kilda to get back into this game.
Well, listen to the roar if he can dob this. He's kicked 2. He hasn't. He hasn't brought it back. He needed to.
Big call by the umpire too. That could well have been 50. There's Johnson in the back pocket and in the bright sunshine. Just a glorious Melbourne day. Johnson around the boundary, drives it towards the wing, over the top, cloak, almost. Slick hands by Ball. Swan in trouble, feeds it forward, knocked on by Beams. Davis, can he lift? They need him. Oh, that's terrible. Just coughed it up, goes back in, tries to knock it forward, spills to Didak, to Davis. Davis along the boundary line, over the head of Sidebottom, and walking it across the line is Wilt.
You just sensed if St Kilda could have taken the ball off them when they had that opportunity when Leon Davis caused the turnover with the hand pass. You can get some sort of rebound from a turnover and get the ball inside your forward 50. That's obviously the quickest way to go.
Hayes clean possession after the boundary throw in, gives it to Peake to midfield, all Collingwood at the back, although revolt, half chance, taken away by Shaw. He's been terrific, comes out to Maxwell.
So is his captain, so Maxwell goes long, doors the target, Goddard seemingly everywhere. Dawson and Davis, brilliant pick up Davis. Looked at his back too, Peake, no free kick to Davis. Ball hasn't quite got out. Gwilt, Collingwood still with a chance. McWalter, well done. Just hacks it forward. Collingwood, though, read it best. Revolt held up. Shaw takes the mark. I think Collingwood know they're being very heavily challenged here. They're trying to respond. They need a little more breathing space to feel comfortable. Here's O'Brien. That galloping action as he kicks to half forward. Beams and also Dempster. And Dempster happy to see it roll away. Still no impact from Davis today. Half chances.
Fair case to answer for, I think, Eddie.
Yep. Boundary throw in. Again, clean possession. Hayes. Oh, he got rid of it just in the nick of time. Graham kicks outside the defensive 50. Eddie, bit of quiet player. Hand pass forward, taken by Swan. Swan, lucky. Well, it bounces back to Eddie. Well done. Got a hand pass to Jones. He was slung. Jarred out of there. Schneider. Now the run of Goddard. Through midfield, Goddard. Well, he hand passed, I think, intended for Blake. Hard to tell. It was a shocker. Blake wasn't watching. In goes Shaw at Collingwood. Taken front on by Montagna. Peake grabs the football. Nothing doing. We'll have a ball up just inside this little square.
Open up them Collingwood, but just, mistimed the handball.
Had to hand pass because Nick Maxwell was by himself in the St Kilda forward line, so that visual pressure again, it just caused a turnover.
I reckon that's the hottest the footy's been all day, that moment. The Saints go forward, Revolt and Brown, Gilbert lurking, Maxwell getting back. Kept his head over at Maxwell. The handball forward, Schneider, can't quite break it. Gilbert, he's got it! They're in this now.
It's been an important move, that one. Probably didn't see it coming, Sam Gilbert, not a noted goal kicker, only one for the season so far, but his work rates, you just see him there on the left of screen. He never gives up. He's there, creates the outnumber. just by getting there.
They needed another player because Rewald was firstly Rewald or no one. It was either Fisher or Gilbert probably that they had to take out of defence just to give another player with a bit of height and a bit of rating.
Hot game. He's been really important, Sam Gilbert, being able to lock the ball inside. He's matching Nick Rewald for work rate, so now they've got two hard workers. I'll tell you what, it's a pretty warm day here today in the MCG, so the heat's on the game. The endurance of the players is going to be paramount in this last quarter and a half.
Margin 7 points. Jolly decisively down to Swan. McWalter goes after it. Tuvi's in there, gets a hand on the footy and ties it up. So that was a very important goal, that last one. His second goal of the season for Gilbert, his first ever in a final. Richo?
The other important move has been Goddard, who's been starting forward, then going behind the ball and giving them heaps of overlap and run. He's on the bench now, just having a rub. He'll be back on soon.
Short building forward and Davis accelerating, keeps his feet. Important to Thomas, brilliantly done. And then Daisy should have walked it home and he's missed badly. Well,
that was one of those occasions where you could have straightened up and actually will have it. We'll see. It's a terrific view, aerial view. He ran and tried to kick the ball across his body, straightening up. Drop punt from 20 metres would have been a certainty.
I haven't seen them rattled all day. Now, I'm not saying that's rattled, but there wasn't much poise there with Thomas running in.
He rushed himself, had more time and rushed himself.
So Gwilt to himself. I reckon Travis Cloak's thinking, gee, I hope we get the next goal. He just missed those couple before half-time. Thomas misses an easy one. Jolly.
We see time and time again in games when sides are from behind, they work so hard to get to the line, get to an even playing field. That's what St Kilda have been doing since the start of the game, so you just wonder how much energy has been used to get back into this stage.
Collingwood's last 9 scores have been 1 goal, 8. Now, we know a few rushed, but a few missed as well.
They've rushed 6, Bruce. One the other way.
And Cloak missed a couple and Thomas missed a sitter. So Blake conceding back. Well, the Saints like this scoreline, don't they? They like them 54s to 46s. Now, they've been able to get this to happen for about the first time today.
Dawson on the other side. Not much up ahead.
He had Eddie on a bit quicker if he could just wield and went as soon as he received the ball.